Hello, friends. Welcome back to Budgeting Over 40. I'm Melissa, and we are here to discuss and do a debt update for the end of May 2025. Let's jump in. All right, you guys, I appreciate you so much for being here. There is a lot that I want to share with you guys in this debt update. Just bear with me. It may be a longer video. I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as possible, but I'm pretty excited to show you something that I did in the month of May. When I first did it, I was a little bit leery about whether it was the right decision. But now that we are into the swing of things, I'm like, you know what? This was the right decision. I did it right around the time that I was a little bit emotional and I thought it was an impulsive decision. It sort of was, but I think that this will work out in the end. So, you guys, let's jump in and we're going to talk about how our debts did in May. So, the first debt that's up is my Apple Card. Now, Apple started out at a balance of $1,027.15. The interest rate, and I'm going to tell you about the interest rate on these debts for this video. So the interest rate is 27.24%. However, I am not paying any interest on this credit card because I'm managing to pay the statement balance before the next statement closing dates. And because this is my primary use card, I use it and I pay it right back. So the minimum payment of this was $25 for the month of May. I did end up making an extra payment of $2.15 only because I wanted to end at 1,000. So there is no purchases on this card that was not paid back and there was no interest. So like I said, the ending balance for the month of May is $1,000. Now let's move into the next debt, which is upgrade. And this is the first news that I want to share with you guys. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and show you the next two debts. So this is Upgrade and also Lending Club. So this is what happened in the month of May, you guys. I was going through a little bit of an emotional roller coaster moment. And one day I logged into, I think, Credit Karma because I do check my credit on the daily. And they said that I could refinance my personal loans for a lower interest rate, really a lower monthly payment, and be able to save some money. Now, I went in and I went ahead and I checked out the offers that they had. Now, I did see something for SoFi and I was like, wait a minute, I wonder if I'll be able to get a loan through them to be able to, I guess, refinance my upgrade loan. Because the upgrade loan, when I took it out last year, this was end of September 2024, I did take out $25,000 and I used that to pay off most of my credit card debt. And I also used it to pay off a high interest personal loan that I had with OneMain. Now, OneMain was the debt that I really did hate in 2023 and leading into 2024. I think the interest rate was about 29%. I will go ahead and put that on the screen for you guys to see. So you can or should understand that getting a personal loan for 19.99% was a lot better than what I was paying, not only to my credit cards, but also to the OneMain loan. So I started out the month of May with $22,701.34. The minimum payment was $629.14, which I did make earlier on in the month, but I was able to transfer $22,380 onto this new SoFi loan that I was approved for. Now, we're going to go step by step. I'm not going to rush it. Now, also, because I did do the transfer, when I made my first payment, $338.95 came out of this $629 in interest, just out of the payment. So it was a little bit more than half of the payment, or just about half of the payment that came out for interest. Now, when I went ahead and did the balance transfer, so I applied for the SoFi loan on the 21st. When Upgrade, received the money, because I had them pay them directly. I didn't want the money to come to me, for me to turn around and use it for something else. So I had them send the balance directly to Upgrade. Now, by the time they went ahead and recalculate and received the money, I was a little bit I was a little bit scared at first. And this is why I was thinking, was this the right decision? So I applied for the loan on the 21st. On the 22nd, they told me I was approved. And by the 23rd, they told me that the funds was sent. And I was like, okay, so how long is it going to take for Upgrade to be able to get this transfer? Now, the 23rd was Friday, the 26th, which was Memorial Day. So I'm like, okay, banks are going to be closed. So by the 27th, they should update. So they didn't update until the 28th. But when I went into Upgrade and check it, they actually posted the payment on the 22nd, which was amazing because it was less days in between the payment that I made earlier on in the month and when they actually considered that transfer coming through. Anyway, they ended up charging me some more interest from the time that I made my regular payment to the time that that money came in. And I ended up paying $183.50 out of that money. Now, what that left me was $215.27 in the loan balance. And I was able to go ahead and make that payment. And out of that payment as well came 62 cents in interest. So the total amount of interest that I paid to Upgrade in the month of May was $523.07. So I am ending May, and I'm very happy with this, at $0 for Upgrade. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is Lending Club. Lending Club started out at $12,975.97. The interest rate on this card or loan, personal loan, 18.74%. Now, it's not too far off from Upgrade, but Lending Club was a 3-year loan. What I didn't mention, Upgrade was a 5-year loan. When I applied for this, and when I went in and looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I had chosen 5 years. So Lending Club was a 3-year loan. It was due to be paid off next June, which is June 2026. The minimum payment, $1,059.22. I was able to send over $12,120 from the new loan. They did take interest. So I made my regular payment. Let's back up a second. I made my regular payment middle of the month of May. They ended up taking 202 and 64 cents out of my $1,059.22 payment. And when I went ahead and transfer or did the balance transfer to the new personal loan that I took out, $12,120, they ended up charging me $126.18 in interest because there was some time between when I made my regular monthly payment to when the loan was paid off. Now, the money was sent out the same time the Upgrade loan was sent off, but you guys, they did not consider the payment being made until May 29th. So there was a couple more days that Lending Club considered the time frame. I don't know how it happened. I don't know why, but I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to sweat it. At the end of it, the balance that was left on the loan was $125.57. And I went ahead and paid that. So the total amount of interest that I paid to Lending Club in the month of May, $328.82. The extra payment that went out, including the loan, 12,100 I'm sorry, $12,245.57. And I'm ending this one at $0 as well. Now, what I want to share with you is that when I went in to YNAB and I did plug these payments in, because I went into YNAB, I plugged the payments in to close out these loans. And I also entered the new SoFi loan, which I'm about to show you what took place with that. It told me that for Upgrade, for me paying off this loan early, I saved $10,875.16 in interest because it was paid off early. Because I ended up putting in everything in YNAB, so it tells me when the loan is due and how much interest I'm going to pay over that time. And I was like, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. But it is true because when I did take out this personal loan last year, it told me that I was going to pay a little bit over $17,000 in interest. So this is great that I was able to save this much by paying off this loan or balance transferring this loan to a new loan. All right. Now for Lending Club, it told me that because Lending Club was going to be paid off next June, it told me that I saved $1,437.07 in interest. So total interest that I've saved by paying off these loans with the transfer was $12,312.23. Now, I want you to make a note of that. Ultimately, for me to end up saving with this new personal loan that I've taken out, I need to pay less than $12,312.23. Now, what I'm going to share with you, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to put some screenshots on the screen for you guys to see. When I did apply for the SoFi loan, it told me that over the length of time before this loan comes due, I'm only going to pay $7,086.48 for the entire loan amount. So now let's look at SoFi. So I put it right below here because this is something that I'm going to be working on when I'm able to. I think I should start working on this one first because I am not paying interest. I'm not paying interest on my Apple Card. I'll circle back to that. So I took out this SoFi personal loan. It started at a balance of zero. The interest rate, you guys, is 12.29%. Look at the difference between my upgrade interest at almost 20%, you might as well say 20%, and Lending Club almost 19%. I'm down to 12. I didn't have a minimum payment, but the minimum payment for this, and this is where I was, kind of beating myself up and second guessing myself. The minimum payment per month is going to be a little bit higher than my Lending Club by $100. It's going to be $1,151.04. That's what it's going to be per month. But I'm not going to worry about it. It is what it is. I was telling myself that, you know what? Come next June, I would have been able to get back just about $1,059.22 in my budget. But for right now, I'm getting back $629.14 into my budget. So that's how I'm looking at it. The positive of it. I have to find the positive because when I took this out, I was on an emotional roller coaster. The 21st of May is the day that I lost my mom 9 years ago. And because of that, I was in a spiral. And emotions was what drove my decision. And I guess I wasn't in the right frame of mind, but sort of in the right frame of mind. But anyway, I don't want to go too far on a tangent with this video, but we're going to get back to the numbers. I didn't make any payment to this loan as of yet. Nothing's due until June. I did take out $34,500 and I was able to get more, but I didn't want to go higher. After payments on these two loans, which is Upgrade and Lending Club, my balance was just around $34,500. There was a couple dollars there that I said I would take care of out of my pocket without having to transfer that. These two started out at $35,677.31 together at the start of May. So there is no interest for right now, and I'm ending. SoFi has a balance of $34,500. So that is what has happened with me in the month of May as far as my personal loans go. Now I only have one personal loan to deal with. It's a little bit less interest. SoFi is now going to be a 3-year loan. So I'm due to pay this off in 2028. But if I'm working the plan how I have it set out, I will be paying off this much earlier than that. That is my hope. So we're going to keep going. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Would you have done this to be able to save on interest, or would you just write out the time to pay off Lending Club to be able to get back just over $1,000 back in your budget to be able to pay towards the other loans? Or would you have refinance or say, for instance, do a balance transfer with your loans? I think doing the transfer was the best bet for me. Now let's move to the next debt, which is my auto loan. Started out at $29,185.13. This interest is pretty low at 6.19%. The minimum payment is $939.23. I'm not making any extra payment on here, and I'm not doing any purchases. I lost $153.43 in interest, and we're ending under 29,000, you guys. We're ending at $28,399.33. Next one is my student loan. Started out at $1,048.18. This is only at 5% interest. Minimum payment is $40. I'm not making any extra payment, no purchases. The interest, $4.04. And we're closing out at $1,012.22. Next one is my 401k loan. Started out at $17,651.68. This is also at a 5% interest. But as of the recording of this video at the end of May, today is May 30th, as of the recording of this video, they have not done any updates, and I know why. In the month of April, they did do two updates. They did one at the earlier part of the month and one at the end of April. So I don't think they're gonna do any updates. I will be checking back on the 31st if I can remember, because the 31st is my birthday and me and my sisters will be in Jamaica. So I don't know if I'm gonna take the time out or remember to check this on the 30th. But anyway, I mean, on the 31st. But anyway, we didn't have any minimum payments, extra payments, purchases, or interest. So we're ending at the starting balance, which is $17,651.68. Next loan or next debt that's up is my Discover credit card. This is what I transferred most of my credit card balances that I was paying interest on. We started at $5,418, no interest, until January of 2026. So I need to pay off this balance before January closes out. $166 was the minimum payment. I made extra payment of $112, no purchases, no interest, and I ended May $5,140. Next up is Mattress Firm, and this is the last debt. $1,789 even was the balance to start out the month. There is no interest on this one. Minimum payment is $67. There is no extra payment, purchases, or interest. So we're ending the month $1,722 even. All right, you guys. So let's sum this up. We started out the month at $91,796.45. The minimum payments that were made, $2,925.59. Extra payment because we did pay off these loans we did move the balance to another loan, $34,954.99. But I'm considering the loan I purchased for $34,500. The interest that was lost, and this is pretty high for me. I was trending down for the year 2025, but because those extra payment and extra interest came out for those two personal loans, we lost $1,009.36 in interest. And we're closing out the month, you guys, $89,425.23. So that is amazing because I am under $90,000 in debt. So I am pretty happy to see this number. I can't believe how we're doing. So I'm going to do a debt progress just for you guys to see. So when I started on this debt journey, October 10th of 2023, my total debt amount was $123,217.48. Last month's total, like I mentioned, $91,796.45. This month's total, $89,425.23. So paid this month in principal payment, $2,371.22. So that is 2.58% reduction in the debts. So overall, we've paid $33,792.25 in debt, and that's an overall percentage paid of 27.42%. I am very happy to see this number. So very happy. So let's talk about the categories here, just so you can see a contrast between where we started and where we end in the month of May. So here in the month of May, for credit cards, we started at $8,234.15. We're ending, you guys, at $7,862. So that's $372.15 reduction. The personal loans, we had two to begin with. Now we're down to one. Started out at $35,677.31, and we're ending with just one personal loan at $34,500. And I wanted to make another point of why I think this was a positive move for me to go ahead and do like a refinancing of the personal loan. I'm going to pay lower interest, yes. The monthly minimum payment for this personal loan is lower than what I'm paying right now. Potentially, I will save some money. I will have more money in my budget per month. But I want to actually say that SoFi did not charge me an origination fee for the loan. All the other loans that I've taken out over the years has always charged an origination fee, and this one did not. When I took out the upgrade loan, they took almost, I think, $1,300 out of the money. Lending Club took an origination fee, but SoFi didn't. So I'm pretty happy with that. So we've reduced the personal loans by $1,177.31. My auto loan started with the number I told you because I only have one. So we've reduced the auto loan $785.80. 401k didn't budge. Student loan, we reduced it by $35.96. So like I mentioned here, this is the amount, the $2,371.22 as mentioned here. These two amounts are the same. Now, what I do like to show you guys every time I do my debt update, I like to show you guys the interest. Now, this one hurts a little bit because we did go up. So last month at the end of April, our interest did go down from February and March. So we were supposed to be going down. And when I looked before I added the additional interest, I was at 600, I was teetering at $690. So it was lower than this 763 here. But it is what it is. We're losing the $1,009.36, or we already lost it in interest. And look at this, compared to the month of May for 2024, May also did increase in 2024. That's a little, wow, that's odd. So we did go down in March of 2024 from February, and also in April of 2024 from March, and May went up. But I do know why May went up last year is because I did go on vacation and it wasn't planned and it didn't have any money saved and most of it went on a credit card. But this year I am going on vacation for my birthday. Yes, I'm currently there now, the time you're seeing this video. But there was nothing that was placed on a credit card for me to pay back in the month of June. Absolutely nothing. And I'm pretty proud of myself to say that. So overall interest that we lost, I always tell you, $14,751.47 in the month of, or in 2024. And so far in 2025, we've lost $4,488.65. So look at the big difference. This time last year, we were up to $6,740.50. And right now we're up to the $4,488.65. So I am under by $2,000 in interest so far comparing to last year. So I am happy to see this. Please let me know in the comments, like I said before, what would you guys do in this position? Would you have gone ahead and take out or do a refinance off your personal loans to be able to not just only have one personal loan and pay less in interest by taking a lower interest rate or APR. And even though it's going to be a 3-year loan and it's going to prolong the amount of time, well, it's actually less than what I was going to pay with Upgrade. But anyway, I'm rambling on. What would you guys do in my position? Would you do that? Would you think it to be a good decision? I think it is. When I took out Upgrade, I was hoping to, get rid of the high interest credit card that I had and also to get rid of One Main, which I did. And as you can see, since I've taken out the Upgrade loan, I have not racked back any cost or expenses up on my credit cards. So I think I'm in a better mindset to deal with this loan. So, you guys, I appreciate you so much for taking this time out to watch. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in June. Bye now.